So Iristina was wearing a huge cross necklace with a Christian cross, and that seems rather unlikely. As I told you, religion was really looked down upon in East Germany, and if you were openly Christian and practicing, you actually had little to no chance to ever really make a huge career in East Germany. For example, even if you had perfect marks in school, if you were also openly Christian, they would deny you access to university or high-paying jobs, and most of these people had to become simple farmers or something like that. However, they had a system, if you were dumb as shit, if you had really bad marks and everything, all you basically had to do was either your father was already a huge big shot in the East German army, or you yourself just during school said, okay, I hereby conscript myself for 5 years of service in the East German army, and then you would also basically move into a higher layer of society. Over here, it of course makes sense that they were not as strict with these people, simply because, as we already established, they would clearly lack manpower by now. And
so you might argue that because of what she achieved, and let's be honest, if you're fighting a losing war against such an enemy, the government might say, well, let them believe in God. They need something to hold on to in this kind of wars. So that might not be their first priority. And let's say, well, we have better shit to do than to talk about Christianity. So it might be still considerable okay. It's nothing big, and again, it's nitpicking.
政治将校の権限を使えというのね。機関は我が国に亡命を望んでいるということだな。そして新たな祖国と党と軍に忠誠を誓うということか。
Should actually be above Iristina in rank. And as we said, it might be because of some kind of achievements, but usually this commissioner, so the black-haired girl, would be the superior to Iristina in rank.
Yeah. These Politkommissars, they were basically the ones stationed in the military. That's also something the Soviet Union did even back in World War II. They would basically make sure that within the army everyone would uphold the values that the state wanted them to have. And for example, they had the right, if they thought, okay, this guy is secretly a traitor, they could just have him executed or stuff like that. So yeah, they were basically making sure that the propaganda and all of that would be accorded to. So yeah, she was the direct superior, but that again was something that was a kind of floaty thing, because in direct combat situations, there would certainly arise a situation of tension with people who have actual military prowess, who actually have earned their rank.
So then again, it is in the setting. It still kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
The position swap. It's nothing game breaking. So the one last thing you noticed is that at the end, in the last scene, there was a car, which is the Wartburg 353.
Well, it seems to be. It's during the scene where we see the Stasi trying to execute a bunch of people, and you have a short scene where they show the outside where the cars are parked. We only see the car from behind. It seems to be a Wartburg, and what you must know, East Germany is a country with a few resources. The largest resource that they had was uranium. It was actually the single largest exporter of uranium to the Soviet Union. So that also would explain why something like Schwarzesmarken is required to defend East Germany. But the thing was low resources, so East Germany had to still find a way to create some cars some way. So what they did was Presspappe. Basically, it's the same material as a as a cardboard box would have. They had cardboard pressed so tightly that it would make a car. And that's how they made the so-called Trabant. And the few East Germans who actually could get one, because it was luxury, but it was all you could get. Except if you were a little bit higher up, you could afford a Wartburg, which was a more superior car model. What I thought about, since we only see it from behind, it is most likely a Wartburg 353 model, but it could also be a Russian Lada, which was a Russian car at the time and to this very day, and has not really changed its design ever.
So I think one short comment on how we liked the first episode. So for me, I actually liked it. I thought for the first time, but yeah, it feels German. A lot of enemies with German, some imaginary country that's called Germany, but I actually felt like it was Germany. The setting was interesting. That the main character is such a depressed lot actually makes him, to me, sympathetic, because I understand his setting. Because, well, I'm born in East Germany. Well, maybe at the point we both born in East Germany. I was born in 1991, so just after the Berlin Wall fall, and you were born a few years before it fall.
Well, August 89, so a few months before it came down.
So basically you're still a DDR citizen.
My birth certificate has the DDR symbol on it. I was officially a citizen.
It counts.
Yeah.
It counts. So, yes, so I liked the characters. Interesting effect, the hair colors were black, blonde, platinum, and like red brownish with Theodore, which felt German to me. It's like pink, for example, in Muv-luv Total Eclipse, you have green hair, etc. In the Japanese version, it's more the complete color palette, like pink and stuff. But this felt more like Germany or the eastern part of Europe. So I hope they kind of stick with this color scheme, because I feel like it's closer to Germany from that time. Not nowadays, but back in the day. One thing I agree with most people is like the breasts in the suits look a bit weird, because in the visual novel or in the light novel they look more natural. Of course they all look great, because it's anime. We don't really want to see ugly people. Let's be real here. But a friend of mine said, well, they kind of look like balloons, and she has a point. Maybe in later episodes they could be a bit better with that presentation. And the CGI animation of the mechs was okay. It's a bit cheating with snow effects, because you don't get a clear image. But again, in this setting it makes sense, and that's what point we didn't mention is the climate change. Because communists pretty much tried to bomb the betas with nuclear bombs, but they failed, obviously. And so the climate change makes sense, that it's a really cold state Germany is in. Because normally most shows like Fate's Day Night show Germany like Russia, like everlasting winter, which is not true. The last years were actually really warm in Germany, and even
right now.
Even this winter we had 3 days of snow. But again, with the climate change it makes sense.
Well, then again, we're here in central Germany, and I'm from the north. I'm from the Baltic coast, and I know winter is to be much more severe than anything I have seen here. And same as in the south, due to the raised altitude. But yeah, Germany usually is not as hardcore as displayed in many stereotypical anime.
Or TV shows.
Yeah.
It's not only anime that does it. Just important. And what was your opinion on the first episode?
I was quite pleasantly surprised. I had no prior knowledge of Muv-luv. I mean, you gave it to me a few years ago. It still rests on my hard drive, and I haven't gotten to it yet.
Shame on you.
I know. But then again, I really liked it, and I was quite surprised as well at how authentic it felt. Of course, there were a few slight nitpicks, but overall, it felt to me like your average Hollywood movie would be more inaccurate than this. I mean, I could go on and on about The Man in the High Castle, how fucking stupid a lot of things there are. But over here with Schwarzesmarken, pleasant surprise. Characters seem multi-dimensional enough for me. There's a certain friction between some of them. Some of them seem to hold certain secrets, but seems to be more to them. I want to find out more about them. And so I'm really looking forward to the next episode and see where this war is going.
So, that was it for the first analysis of the first episode. If you liked it, it would be great if you liked the video and subscribe, but I think if the video is good enough for you, you will do that anyway. And as I said, if you have questions about German mythology or in general certain things that are unclear to you, write a comment, and we're trying to include them in the next episode or in an extra video. And if you have questions about the Muv-luv universe, why is that or that way, I will try to answer them in another video. So with that, look forward to the next episode of Schwarzesmarken, and remember, we can say it, we are German.